What's up, y'all? It's your boy Matt. Welcome back to another episode of the Matter of Fact podcast. Listen, I want to apologize for the small little delay. You know what I'm saying? We was hibernating for a little bit, but we back better than ever. And of course, I had to come back with a really special guest today. So I'm going to get into her intro, introduce her. So, she is a Boston College alumni, class of 2015.
Hey, you aging me already.
She's up there on the scale.
You funny.
Who is now a television host on NBC's Boston The Hub Today and podcast co-host, my fault, on the Big 3 NBA podcast with CLNS Media. She is also the co-host for the Patriots pre- and post-game show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Kwani, Lunis.
Thank you. Oh, I got claps.
Or Kwanisha, like I would like to say, you know?
Go with that too.
Kwani, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
No, of course. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
You know, I like to start off giving flowers, so of course I got to give you yours. I feel like, well, I've known you for a minute.
For your whole life?
Yeah,
really?
exactly. Like, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've saw you before you made, you know, the come up to where you are now and like everything that you're doing. And I wasn't too up close to see like the behind the scenes hustle, but like I got like a great view. And even with our conversations with you trying to help me out and like steer me in the right direction for me to get on so I could do like, you know, my dreams and goals and acquire those. Seeing you do it really gave me motivation. Like, yo, if she could do it, I definitely could do that. So I just want to thank you for your yes and your hustle and your contribution and taking like your dreams serious and acquiring your goals. Cause like for people like me, I really look up to you. So thank you.
I'm proud of you for doing this. Like you said, we've been talking about even me being on this podcast for a while now. So the timing aligned and I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks for doing this.
Now let's get into it. Like, so who you dating? Nah, let me
Wait, already.
Yo, nah, let me stop.
I'm crying.
So, just like before you were, you know, the Kwani that we know now, who's like one of Boston's like premier celebrities and all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go back like to when you first started. So your childhood, like what was your upbringing like? What was your family like? The whole dynamic, like just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one of them is in the room. No, but I have two younger brothers, Joshua and Jeremiah.
Yes.
Please edit it. Keep his audio in there. So yeah, growing up, two parents, you obviously know them as well. Christian household, Haitian American household as well. So our parents came here from Haiti. They met in the U.S. and we grew up here. And it's funny, we were talking, my brothers and my dad were just talking about like just the opportunity that's here in the U.S. and my dad and my parents giving us the opportunity for education, which is something that was very important in our household. I was just joking with my other brother earlier that like a B was not a good grade in a Haitian household.
It was like an F.
Yeah, exactly, because the standard is high. But I honestly, when I look back on that, in the way that we were raised, I do think that level of discipline kind of translate, at least for me, into my career of just knowing that, one, the work that it takes to do anything successfully, but also having that standard of excellence of knowing that if you're settling for a B, right? That's not to say, some people, maybe that's the best they can do, but our parents always emphasize like an A is what you should strive for because we know what you're capable of. And I think that has spilled over in my career of knowing that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And I think that contributes to the journey that I've had so far.
So, like in that household, I'm assuming like that carried over like to, you know, your sports or like if you were involved in like your extracurriculars and stuff like that. So with that, were you into like any sports or did you do like, I don't know, like, you know, journalism things, or was it always like, did you have like, what were your aspirations back then before you switched over to like journalism and all these other things?
Oh yeah, great question. So funny enough, growing up, I read this one book by Dr. Ben Carson, and then for a good 10 years, I wanted to be a pediatric neurosurgeon, very specific.
Dang.
Right. And then fast forward to high school, the Christ the King, rest in peace. So Newark,
Christ the King,
Newark, yeah, it's done.
Oh,
yeah. Give him a moment.
My high school done too though, so it's all good.
Where'd you go?
Well, my first high school, I went to Marist, then I went to Hudson.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
a hard
it's
time
a parking lot now.
Yeah,
like.
right. Yeah, but I'm crying in the parking
I'm
lot.
about dead a parking lot. Like, it's really like, yo, I'm not gassing.
Yes, our schools no longer exist.
Nah, facts.
But I will say, I can't remember what year. Josh, you might be able to help me with this, but at one point, our dad taught all of us how to play basketball. And he actually, now I'm putting his business, but he learned how to play basketball in Oklahoma. Randomly, he went on a trip with the school that he I think it was work. Learned how to play basketball in Oklahoma. Came back, starts playing here. And so we would go to the park every weekend. Every Saturday, we'd walk to the park, play basketball, and then go back home. It was like our way of like bonding, but also getting exercise. And I think for me, at least, that's definitely how I fell in love with basketball. The fact that that was something that we had created as part of our life. Even though we watched basketball like professionally on, you know, on TV and stuff like that, I think having that experience with your family is priceless. And then from high school on, I think basketball kind of just stayed in my life. College, I ended up managing our women's basketball team at BC and was able to just kind of stay in sports that way too. And then really the career aspect of it was my junior year when I was like, okay, I really love basketball. How do I keep this part of my life? And I talked to a woman named Steph Tanera. She was the head of communications for our women's, I think it was for women's sports, but specifically for women's basketball at our school. And I was like, I don't really know what that looks like, but I want to have a career in this. Like what can I do? And she connected me with a guy, Chris Curtis. And I'm saying these names as I think about it because it's so interesting. When you think about anything you do, like people are always going to be part of your journey, and you really can't forget that. And so she connected me with him. He was also a BC alum. That's how I got my first internship in sports, specifically sports radio. And I fell in love with it. But throughout the whole journey, like I mentioned Christ the King initially because I wanted to be a lawyer when I went there. And that school had a kind of vocational aspect to it where when you were enrolled, you said what your career goals were. So I wanted to be a lawyer at that point. And so all 4 years I had internships within, like 1 year was K&L Gates, a law firm that's still pretty prominent, I think around the world really at this point. 1 year I worked for the court in Newark, the Newark courts. So like anything that was related to your career, they tried to place you so that by the time you graduate high school,
you got like
you had a bigger resume. Exactly.
Right,
so I'm grateful for that experience too, though, because sometimes you have to do things to know what you don't want to do. And so all those years I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. And I remember when I was at K&L Gates, the attorneys, they would be there all day. And this is nothing against the specific firm. It's just like wherever you work, you're going to be there for a long time. And I remember saying, okay, I want more for myself. Like I want a family one day. I want to be able to like have a 9-to-5, which now in the long term, I realized that 9-to-5 was never going to be a real thing for me anyway.
Yeah, facts.
But when I went to BC, my freshman year, I declared poli-sci, still thinking I wanted to be a lawyer. And when I tell you that was the first time I was in a room where I was like, speaking of grades and levels of achievement, I was just like, oh, I'm not qualified to be in this room.
Because they all had A+.
Yes, and they
above.
all came from high schools. And granted, everyone that goes to BC is very smart. Like you're most likely the top of your class to get in. And so it's interesting because everyone's coming from, there are big fish in these small ponds, and now everyone's coming to the big pond, and it weeds itself out. And in that specific class, and that's not to say I couldn't have done it if I didn't want to, but I think in that moment I was like, okay, this might not be my path, poli-sci specifically. And eventually I ended up landing on a comms major, and that translated into journalism specifically.
No, I think that's interesting because like because I feel like I've been there, especially like when you stop doing something that you thought was like your end all be all, and then to like switch over to something that you probably never thought you would be doing. Like I think it's weird, but it shows to your perseverance and your like how you could just adapt to a whole different thing and how you could like really excel in it and things like that. But what I want to ask you is, in that time of you not really knowing, well, you knew you didn't want to be a lawyer, all this other stuff, but in that space where you was switching over to communications, like what was your mental like thinking of what am I gonna do like in between here, or like how am I gonna start a career in like communication and all this other stuff, even though I already was pretty much putting like all my eggs in one basket with the whole lawyer and things like that?
Yeah, so great question. I think funny enough, and because we all grew up in church together. I think for me, the scripture that represents that best in college, ironically enough, was like that peace that surpassed understanding.
Yeah.
Because if I really were to break down my college experience for you, it was really a series of, I would say, like God moments where when you look back, none of it in the moment made sense. When you put it all together, you're like, okay, this is not a coincidence.
Yeah, that's why it happened.
Yeah, and one of the biggest examples I'll give, though, is my freshman year, which now that I think about it, it really doesn't make sense because so the president of the university, every year I was told he gets 3 students. I didn't know this until after I was assigned to him. So I was one of the 3 students that my academic advisor was the president of the university.
Oh, dang.
Yes. I had to let that sink in for you.
Yeah, because...
Yeah. So the guy in charge of the entire school.
So was he like really on y'all though? So like you checking grades and like all that other
No,
stuff?
and I think that's one of the things where, again, when I look back, I'm just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So when they did our orientation, I remember it was in this huge room and everyone was basically told, you're going to go like assigned to a table. Go sit at this table. Your advisor will come to you. They tell me who my advisor is. And his name is Father Leahy. But because it's a Jesuit school, I'm like, okay, I got one of the priests. That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think much into it. And this is another example of like any room you go to, you got to do your research.
Yeah.
Because granted, I was a freshman. Like, in hindsight's always 2020. Now I know you should probably do a little research when you're going.
Background check,
like, no, who are the need to knows for a university?
Like, even though rate my professor, like,
right,
I was
exactly.
yo,
like,
I need to know all the
give
rules.
Me the Carfax.
Yeah. Yo, show me the Carfax.
Literally. So I didn't do my research, but when I got assigned to him, I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, it processed eventually, and I was like, oh, this is a big deal. But I only mention that because, one, me coming from a first generation college experience into a very prestigious university, and already having access to the top, that doesn't just happen, you know? But I say that also because over the 4 years, I don't think I ever was worried about what exactly my career was going to look like, which doesn't make sense because I really didn't know what my career was going to look like. Like, sophomore year, I had declared communications because of the poli-sci class, and I was like, all right, this is not going to work. But I just started I really declared comms because I wanted to take a public speaking class. I was like, oh, I'm in college. I like talking. Let's see what public speaking. Like, for me, it was fun. Like, I'm getting to explore all these courses and learn all these different things I didn't get to learn in high school.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, I was going to ask, like, were you really, like, talkative or a social person back in the day? And...
Yeah, I was always social. My little brother's smiling behind the camera.
That's where he looked up.
Obviously.
Was she?
Chatty Cathy over there.
Were you in the council or no?
Yeah, I was the president of... Okay, so back to the crazy game.
Oh, yeah, tell us.
First elected president.
Oh,
wow. Which was definitely first and last, probably last. It was definitely a popularity contest, but it's funny. I ran for president, and I'll never forget my friend Angelica. She wrote my speech for me, and I don't mean this like we weren't cheating. It was more of like I felt like we were a legitimate administration. There's still a Facebook page called the Lunis administration, and she wrote me a speech. I had like a whole cabinet, and I'm like, this is high school.
Yo, no
politics.
way.
Why do I have a speechwriter?
Wait, so was y'all getting out there? Like, did she have posters made up and all that? Like,
my friends were making posters, vote for Kwani. Like, we were not playing about that campaign.
Now, did you go to every class and like give a hey, vote for
so
me?
Here's
And
the thing. because we were the first class at Christ the King.
Okay.
It was just like 80 of us, so it wasn't really that much lobbying to do.
Yeah. Now, were you the only person running though?
No, there was one other person that
right.
ran against me. I don't remember who it was actually, but yeah,
They
I know someone else.
Right?
Yeah. Actually, I need to figure out who that was, but yeah, I think I won based off of like doing the most.
Yeah, it had to be.
Off of something that simple, and that goes back to work ethic. Like the fact that it was just a high school election, and I
going that hard.
Literally still have the Facebook page of like all the people that were helping me with like.
I gotta find.
I wasn't playing. No, I'll send you a link.
Yeah,
it's funny. I actually saved it because I was like, one day this might mean something. It's just so funny. Also, our last name's so rare that I doubt there will be another Lunis administration.
I've never met anybody else with a Lunis last name. So.
Gotta keep it for the archives.
No, y'all top notch.
But yeah, I was talkative to answer your question, but I never really knew where that would go career-wise, but now that I think back, everything ties in together and it makes sense.
Yeah.
That this was the career that I ended up in.
Yeah, no, I think that's so interesting because I didn't like to speak at all. So
Really?
I'm even surprised that
You were quiet, yeah.
Yeah, I was never like, I just wanted to like stay in my little bubble, you know, talk to the people I talk to and then just like.
When did it
whatever.
change for you then?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to say in my second college, when I went to Ohio State, because that's when I switched. Because my first college, my major was business administration. Because I'm like, that just sounds
Very
good.
serious, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this sounds like people saying like, yo, you should go do that. So I'm like, all right, I'll go do business. But when I switched over to Ohio State, it was like complications. They were like, you can't do business because you got to have like most of the credits already complete. I had mad credits for business. So I'm like,
and did you have to get into the business school at that
Yeah, that's what I meant.
university?
It was to go into business. Like I needed most of my credits like in there, but it was some mix up. I'm forgetting why.
Yeah, no.
But that's when I had to switch to communications because they said that's when I had most of my credits, the classes like lined up for them.
That makes sense.
Like it was mad weird.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was taking persuasive speech classes, public speaking classes, all these other different classes. So it kind of like just brought it out of me because I always knew how to like talk to people, but only when like they came and spoke to me first. So it was kind of like I'm not gonna go out and just like start a conversation. Like if you come talk to me and like we become friends, like I know what to say, but I'm not like trying to make friends. Like I was like I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to talk to my little group. So that definitely brought it out of me, and I started to see like, oh wow, like I sound pretty good. Like I need to start talking some more. Like so I took it more serious and having to do so many videos, like, and shout out all my professors because y'all really made me start talking because I did not want to talk. Like we would have to record videos. 2020, you sending in like making me talk on Zoom in front of the whole class.
That's a good point too. Yeah.
5-minute speeches. It's like, what do you like?
Yeah, that brings you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's where it changed for me. But I appreciate them, like you said, and I agree with the whole. Everything happens for a reason. Like it was, I don't know why I had to switch to communications. Because eventually I would be doing something like this. I would have never, like, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I'd be like, yo, I'm going to play football. Like, I don't need to be, I just need to talk to my coach. And he needs to tell me what I need to do. And then, like, that's the communication I need to do. Like, yo.
You call the audible, I got you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you just communicate to me what you want me to do. Like, and then I'll go do that. Like, but I ain't about to be on no podcast or nothing like that. But, so, just going back to, like, BC. Because you mentioned you're the women basketball manager. So how did you even like get into that? Was it the same thing? You were the only one that like applied and then they were just like, yo, Kwani, like you.
That's a funny story too. Again, I might just need to write a book about my BC experience.
Yeah, because it sounds exciting.
It really was. No, but it's funny because I'm very short. I'm 5'2". And I don't know if it's just like, I feel like every chapter of my life, I've always gravitated towards tall people. So at BC, this was so funny. But at BC, I hung out with a lot of the female basketball players. And at one point, one of the girls was like, Kwani, you're around us all the time. You might as well just be our manager. And I thought she was just joking. Like, I thought she meant like, oh, you could just, be my, like, I didn't know it was a real job.
Right.
So she was like, no, I'm serious. Like, you should talk to our DOP, Director of Operations, and be our student manager. And lo and behold, there was a role for a student manager, which, again, I didn't know it existed because I didn't grow up, well, one, we didn't grow up with like, like in the South they have college football culture and, I didn't know that much about universities until I went to one.
Yeah,
so something as simple as college athletics, I didn't realize how complex and granted we're a D1 school, but D1 budgets are different, and so like I didn't realize like a basketball team would have a student manager and that you got to travel and be a part of the team and be a part of the culture.
Yeah, like you pretty much a player.
Yeah,
like
without
that.
having to play,
jersey,
really.
Yeah.
I mean, coach would put me in drills. Like, he was not playing. Like,
that you lying? Like,
I took a charge in the practice once, and then I had an asthma attack after, but it was fun. The whole team was like, Kwani, you got... Like, it was honestly one of my proudest basketball moments. He put me in a drill on defense. I don't know why I took the charge. I just stood there, boom, fell, everybody's like, yo, and then had to go get my inhaler. But
yo,
it was hilarious. But I really loved that experience because one, it showed me a different side to a sport that I already loved.
Yeah.
But also it was just another way of me understanding, like, career-wise, what could this look like? And granted, I didn't work on, I don't work on the team side in the way that I work in sports now, but having that experience, I think, translates and helps you at least translate how things work in the real world, even when it comes to pro sports.
Yeah. So would you say that was like the startup of your whole like getting really well? I'll just ask. You think really getting into basketball, knowing the ins and outs, and like how you see players getting interviewed after games? I'm sure they maybe like did their interviews and like just the real behind the scenes and wanting to get to know more about it and falling deeper in love with it.
I think so, and because I already had a love of basketball and being able to, because sometimes they'll say like when you see how it's made, maybe you don't love it as much anymore. I think I fell in love with it even more.
Yeah.
Because it was just like I enjoyed the lifestyle. Like, and it's so interesting because again, I'm in college, but I'm on the road with a bunch of cool people. We're going to all these ACC cities, and we're getting to meet new people, and we're traveling and like experiencing the sport in different arenas and different fans, like that. And then to do that as a college kid, I think, again, as someone that didn't play, I think it was unmatched because it just gave me so much more insight on the world and like the opportunities that existed. Right. And the one thing I will say about BC too, I really appreciated. I love to say, like, I had the best of both worlds when I was there. Managing that team was one of the greatest experiences of my life, but also in the same sentence, being a manager for our catering department at BC was equally as important to me because, funny enough, actually, BC Catering, one, it taught me leadership. I came in as a freshman just because I needed to work steady and I needed to pay my bills. Yeah. And by the time I was a senior student manager. So I had worked there for 4 years. They trusted me enough to let me hire students. I would fire students. It was like wild. Wow. Like, I literally was in charge as a student. Like, they would give me the paperwork and be like, here, you're in charge. Like, you can hire and fire whoever you want. But also, when you talk about destiny and things tying together, one of my responsibilities as a student manager was running our training table for our football and hockey team. Okay. And a lot of the football meals. So as a result, I had a lot of connections with our football team because, like, coaches, players, all of that, because I was in charge of like their meals not in charge, like there were actual adults in charge. Yeah. But I was like one of the students in charge of that. But that connection itself too, eventually when I realized I wanted to work in sport, like when it really clicked, one of the assistant coaches, he was like, hey, like if you want, you could do some, like they literally offered one of the football spaces. He was like, you could do interviews there. And like I would just start doing interviews. It wasn't going anywhere because I wasn't working for a publication, but the way I was able to build connections through working for something like catering, And it's so funny because like a lot of times people will look at, like when you go to a fancy event, like people will look at the wait staff as just like the help, right? Yeah, they ain't really. But for me, when I tell you, no matter where I was considered the help, I never made it seem that way to others. Like I would work a lot of the President's Suite events as well, and this is another way my careers tied together at BC. Father Leahy, it's his suite. So a lot of times I'd be working the suite, and one time he had a dinner with a bunch of priests, and it was like I was one of the I think it was like 2 students working at dinner. It was like a very private but like well-known priest dinner kind of thing. Yeah. He stops the entire room and he's like, hey everyone, I want to introduce you to Kwani. And like, because I was one of his advisees still at that. Even I think on paper I wasn't an advisee anymore. He literally stops his dinner to introduce me. And I'm wearing the little black, the white shirt with the black tie, like the literal catering uniform. And I was like, hi, I say what I need to say, but I'm like, I don't care what I'm wearing. I'm a human being and you're a human being. So I treat people, and I think that for me, the perspective now is like, I don't care what you're considered and what you do career-wise. Like, we're all human beings. We all deserve the common courtesy of being acknowledged. So I never understood when people would go to like a cocktail party and they're just like throwing their paper plate at someone. Or I'm like, no.
Like they're robots or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. I'm gonna thank the wait staff because I have done that, and I understand that. One, it doesn't define who you are. There are people that have worked wait staff or catering jobs or waitressing jobs that you don't know what kind. They could be secretly a billionaire, but they just do it for fun, right?
Yeah, undercover boss or something.
Exactly. So it's like, but I mean, not even for that reason, but like you never know who you're talking to, and that's the way I always view it as like, if I can have a conversation with you, that should be the only thing that matters in that moment.
Yeah. And I like how you put the spotlight on you too, because even probably in that moment, they probably noticed you like, oh wow, like that's okay, so that's Kwani.
Yeah.
Opposed to like everybody else just passing by, like, oh, that's just excuse me, waitress, like, could you come back and like, so that probably even like sparked the whole thing. Like, later in life, like, I'm gonna look if I could find up Kwani Lunis somewhere or something like that.
I don't think Google me now.
No fact. So okay, well I like that. Like I like how BC really like prepared you for
a lot of experiences at BC prepared me for where I am now.
Yeah. Now when you switched over though to get into the media world, now was Boston like your first choice that reached out, or like how did you get into like NBC Boston from Boston College?
Yeah. So I feel like, excuse me, you'll realize a recurring theme in my story is really the people that I've met, but also like God is first, obviously, at the top of it all, right? He has orchestrated all of these moments and these people that I've met and the timing of the people that I've met in order for me to do what I'm doing. And in that same token, when I graduated from BC, I'm going to try to quickly summarize the timeline of graduating. So I was about 2 to 3 weeks out, and when you're graduating college, everyone's like, what are you doing next? Where are you going? It's always that annoying time, like, did you get a job yet?
Yeah, we got to touch on that because oh my gosh, like.
First of all, mind your business. That's between me and God. I'm kidding. No, but it's and now that I've been in it, I understand it. Of like, I understand the care of like wanting to see if someone's good.
Yeah.
But also, I think with everyone's time, it will work out. So a few weeks out before graduation, didn't have anything yet. I talked to Father Leahy. I say, hey, I want to work in media. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if you can help me, but hey, whatever. So he connects me with the head of communications at BC, the head of PR for BC. So when you're the head of public relations for any organization, you're most likely the person that's talking to the media. So a school like BC, whether they're in the news for something good or bad, if it's local to Boston, the local Boston media is going to reach out to BC and ask for a statement. So let's say like BC hung up a banner and people didn't like it, right? This is just an example. And the local NBC affiliate's like, all right, well, we need to get a statement on this banner because people don't like it. So they reach out to BC. That's the guy that they would reach out to because he speaks on behalf of the organization.
Yeah.
So finally he connects me with this man, Jack Dunn. And we have a meeting and we're just chatting, whatever. And he gets a phone call from a woman who is actually still an anchor in Boston, Paul Eben, also a BC alum.
Okay.
And he says, if you go to this event next week, she's supposed to be emceeing or something like that. I'll introduce you to her after. I say, bet, put it in my calendar. I fast forward, I go to that event. I meet her. She gives me her info. She says, come shadow me for a day. I say, okay. Mind you, at this point in my college career, time is winding down. At one point, I had made a bunch of business cards that just all they said was Boston College, class of 15. You should redact that. I'm kidding. And then like comms major in my email, right? There's no like I don't have a job yet, so it's really just a way to connect with me, but to show that I go here. So she lets me shadow her for a day. I bring a bunch of resumes and a bunch of those business cards. And I'm literally handing them out like Oprah at these things. Yeah, I'm like, here, you want one? Janitor guy, you want one? Here you go. Yeah. I'm handing it out to everybody. Halfway through this meeting or shadowing, I end up meeting the news director. He takes her resume, he looks at it, he's like, oh, you have pretty good experience. And at that point, I only had 2 internships on my resume, which isn't bad because I'm in college, so like that makes sense.
Yeah.
And granted, in media too. And I also had women's basketball there, so, that kind of helped. So he looks at it, he doesn't say anything, goes away, finish shadowing the woman. And as the day is wrapping up, I'm packing my stuff, he comes back around, he's like, hey, so I looked over your resume, and by the way, we have an apprenticeship opening, would you be interested? And I'm like,
dang.
Yeah, I don't have a job.
Word, I would
yes, sir. And the funniest part, I will never forget, because I think everyone should walk with this boldness. I wanted to work in sports. At all this point, everything on my resume is saying sports.
Yeah.
But the apprenticeship that he offered me was a news apprenticeship. And it was like a corporate one. So, like, it was a corporate thing. So I guess certain cities had that on their paper, and it said news apprentice. And I was like, I would love to do this, but is there a way that we can split the 6 months up so that I can work in sports as well?
Okay.
And he's like, that's no problem to me. That's not like a problem. So he was like, I'll have you work 3 months in the newsroom, and 3 months in the sports department. And the timing of it was perfect because the 3 months in news were right in the middle. Like, I think it was July, August, September, maybe. And then
Right,
September, October, November, or maybe I did my math wrong, but I know I ended around November, December. And right around that time is when sports was starting. So it was like the perfect opportunity to like start in sports.
Yeah. So it pretty much all worked out.
Yeah. And that was my first job, like on paper.
So you was just now explain like an apprentice. That's just like you're in the, like walking around with like a mail cart or something like that. You handing out people?
Not really, but it's a great question because it's not really a role you see much of today.
Yeah, I never even...
But it was basically a glorified internship, the way I like to describe it. Full time for 6 months. I got paid. It wasn't like crazy money, but it was a decent little salary. But it was basically a way for young professionals to get their foot in the door.
Yeah, some experience.
In the industry. And you just get to be there every day. So the 3 months I was in news, I got to sit with the executive producers. I used to write with them, read scripts, go shadow produce reporters in the field. And then in the sports side, similarly, I would work with our sports director, our sports producers, all of them. And just like, if they needed someone to go to practice and they didn't have enough reporters, they'd send me and a camera guy. And I'd take the microphone and just ask players questions and stuff. So that was my first experience in professional locker rooms too, of like Patriots and Celtics specifically, if they needed post game or like post pre-week sound or whatever, you know, like they have a matchup against the Jets. All right, let's ask some questions so we could air it on TV that week. So that was my first foot in the door. And then when that ended after the 6 months, I had nothing. Like I didn't have any prospects, nothing lined up. And I think that was the first time in my life, to your earlier question, where I was like, oh, I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
Because our whole lives, everything's defined. Like, you know, you go to school, your high school, college. And then that moment that apprenticeship ended, I was like, I don't know what's next.
Yeah.
And so, interesting where we're recording right now, because maybe 2 or 3 months after that apprenticeship ended, I get a phone call downstairs, and I go to the women's bathroom, and I say hello, and it's Andrea, who was my executive producer when I worked on that news part of that apprenticeship.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, Kwani, I know you really want to work in sports, and it was one of those things, because I think a lot of times with careers, you'll tell people your goals, and a lot of times it may feel as though people don't believe in your aspirations. And sometimes it could be just because they genuinely don't believe in you.
Yeah.
Other times it could be them just being realistic of like, all right, the odds are this, and this. And from a scientific standpoint, I don't think you're going to make it, right? And then other times it's just the lack of opportunity. So in this instance, for her at least, she called me with the opportunity. And I don't think any of those three were the case. I think she just genuinely thought this was a good role for me. She calls me, she says, "Hey, someone I know it was Comcast Sportsnet New England at the time, now it's NBC Sports Boston." She was like, "Someone I know there is hiring for a production assistant, and I really know you want to be on camera, but I think you should apply." And I was like, you know what, I trust you, I'm gonna apply. 3 more months go by, I didn't really hear much from them. I applied, and then I get an email on a Friday saying, "Hey, can you be in Boston on Monday?" And I was in Boston on Monday, had an interview, and I got that job. And I've been, April of 2026 will make it 10 years with NBC.
Wow.
As an employee, from a production assistant to now hosting an entertainment lifestyle show. It's obviously, I've had different roles throughout.
Yeah.
But because of one phone call and someone that said, "Hey, I know what your goals are, and I'm not saying that this is going to lead to it," but she was right. Yeah. And I actually should, I have to remind her and thank her again, because you never know who God will put in your life to help guide you. And I think that's just been the theme of my life, that so many people have been placed throughout my story that have gotten me to where I am right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, just listening to it, you could literally see the like pieces that was put together, like even the Jesuit Father Leahy, and then how he just he knows the person, and then it's just like the connecting dots, and but when you're in that, it's like you don't see that though.
You don't.
And the fact that you stayed so like encouraged. Well, I ask you that, like, what kept you just knowing like what goals you wanted? Like, what kept you motivated to even keep pushing, even though it wasn't looking like it was gonna end to you hosting the NBC live show every day? So, like, what was your mindset back then?
Well, the months when I didn't have a job, I wasn't encouraged, to be honest. I was definitely frustrated and trying to figure out what exactly would be next. But I didn't know what was next. And I think that's what really frightened me of like, yes, this is my goal, but what if it doesn't work out? But I think sometimes you do have to sit in that, because I think it gives you perspective of whether this is the, and it never is, but whether this is the be all end all.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, I applied to so many jobs on camera. Like I couldn't even tell you how many jobs I applied to. I applied to a job in Alaska. That's how desperate I was. Yeah, my mom thought it was crazy.
Yo, that was like me. So even like you was sending me some jobs. Like, I'll be transparent. You was sending me. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna just.
I was like, why not?
I'm just like,
I was like, if I gotta be in Alaska, it's okay. Like literally, there was a sports reporter job in Alaska, and I was like, well, if I'm on the camera, why not?
Yeah, might as well.
Glad I didn't get that in hindsight, but but at that point, I just applied, and then I started doing a YouTube channel and tried to stay relevant. And funny because the YouTube channel that I did. Well, there's so many parts of the story, but the YouTube channel helped me stay relevant for myself. And sometimes I think that's another part, like doing the work for yourself. Yeah. Because when I got that call on that email on that Friday saying, "Can you be in Boston by Monday?" That interview on that Monday, a lot of it was about Boston sports. Like, what do you know? How, what do you think about the Patriots right now? How could this all, like, literally, like, it's probably the most unconventional interview I've ever done, but it makes sense because if you're going to work for a sports organization, you have to know what every team is up to. Yeah. And the fact that I was still doing the work, even though I didn't realize I was doing the work before that, helped me. Because if I had been like, you know what, since I don't have a job in this industry, I'm just going to focus on myself and not pay attention to what's going on, I would have looked dumb going into that interview. But thankfully, I knew what was going on. I was able to talk intelligently about the questions that were asked. And that's what secured the job. But it was about staying in the work, I think, at that time. And then I think the moment I got my foot in the door, to your actual question, from even the interview, I remember saying, my goal is to be on camera one day. I remember saying that. And I distinctly remember every single interview I've done since then, I've always said I wanted to be on camera. Yeah. I told every person that. And it wasn't necessarily to tell them that, like, you have to put me on air. But I think for me, it was re-emphasizing what my goals were. Yeah. And also staying true to that. Because it's very easy for any industry that you work in to get in and be like 5 years in, like, I'm good now.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
And if that's the case, that's the case. Like goals do change. Like, I could have easily been like, you know what? 5 years in, I was doing on social media covering the Celtics. And, like, I recorded so many moments. I have so many phones full of just, like, Celtics content. Like, hallway running, players running through the hallways, or like players signing posters for kids, like so many things, like so much footage.
Yeah, I remember.
And one of my mentors, actually, and it's funny, we still joke about it to this day. He found a job that he was like you should apply for this. I'm pretty sure they're gonna hire you. They would hire you if you apply. The salary was a little better than what I was making, but I was like, no, because I knew that if I applied for that job, I would most likely never be on air, because it was very like kind of print oriented and like old school. Like, it was just definitely going to be like behind the scenes and not really take me towards the path that I wanted. Yeah. And for a minute he would like poke fun at me for it, like, oh, you should have applied for that job. And recently we had a come to Jesus moment. He was like, yeah, I'm glad that you actually didn't listen to me that time. Yeah. Because it worked out for you. But I think that goes down to trusting your gut. Like, just knowing what you want, and if you really are hungry for it, doing it. And that's actually one of my co-hosts, by the way, Sherrod, the Big 3 NBA podcast. Yeah, on the podcast. So Sherrod, definitely started as one of my mentors, but now definitely one of my friends and colleagues. And we've been doing that podcast for about 5 years. Exactly. Actually, this month makes it 5 years as well. Wow. So there's a lot of longevity in the stuff that I've been doing, which I take pride in, because of course. I think with anything you do, that again, the standard of excellence should also be like, how long can you sustain what you're doing and building upon it and getting better and being consistent too. Yeah.
I was gonna say that to the point that you made earlier, you just had to be hungry, and I think you saw that in what you wanted. Like, you weren't gonna settle, because I know most times, like, when people really get into the grit of like their dream and not really being there, and you know, other stuff may come along that like maybe deter you, and you're like, all right, well, let me just go like do this for a little bit, or like you start to lose vision of your actual dream and you get off course. But I think with you, it was amazing how you even stayed committed to, even though it was the obstacles and stuff that you really didn't want, but you still kept pushing. And I think that's just a testament to your parents and how you were raised. But a lot of times though, I think it's just like being in that mindset and being in it when it's rough, it's hard for people to get out of that and hard for people to stay motivated. So I acknowledge the fact that it's not easy, but I think, like you said, if you really want it and you just stay consistent in the thing and you figure out your purpose and what is it you really want to do, that way you just don't fall into any like random rabbit hole of doing something you never wanted to do. You end up hating your career the entire time. Yep. And that's the thing I really admire so much about you that really makes me want to just keep going, because it's like you never gave in and was like, all right, I'll just take a random job that's behind camera. Like, no, I want to be on camera. Yeah. So even when I'm applying to stuff now, I'm like, nah, I want this. Like, if Kwani could do that, like, I'm definitely going to keep applying to that joint. But even now, like, you got a whole background of sports, but you switched over to doing like live TV. So like, was that like a difficult switch? Like, cause I did my research on you, Kwani. I ain't gonna lie. Like, they were showing, they was like, yo, like, you in an interview you was saying like how you really love sports, and to just, you felt like you were leaving sports behind to go and switch over and do more social media stuff. So what was that like?
Yeah, so it's so interesting when you have a goal for yourself, like you said, and I think one thing we should all be willing to do is let it evolve. Yeah. And again, not necessarily dismissing what the dream is, but understanding that with time, things change and you grow and careers change and industries change. Yeah. And so me taking that social media job on the sports side, obviously the social media job was phenomenal, but COVID really put a wrench in things. Like, sports had stopped, and I keep going back to timing because it's so important. And Sherrod is actually, he is very instrumental in this too. He's the one that told me to apply for the news job. Okay. So the news side had a social media opening. Definitely going to be different responsibilities. It was the same title. Well, no, I was a social media coordinator, and this new title will be social media producer. It's just semantics, but corporate wise, it means you get more money usually if you get a title change. So he tells me to apply. When he tells me to apply to that job, I feel as though it was probably like January 2020. Okay. And I applied, but not really thinking much of it. Like, no. And the funny part too is that same month, all of the NBC affiliates were moving into the same building together. So NBC Sports Boston, we were in Burlington, like a little further north, I think, in Massachusetts. And the other two were like in the proximity, but we're all moving to the same building. So me applying for that job also was interesting because we were all going to be in the same building eventually anyway. I think if anything, we had just moved into the same building. So my interview was in the same building as my old job because we all worked together. So I remember when I did the interview and I got to meet who was then my boss. He was my boss for about 4 years. And the guy that would end up being my manager, I remember talking to them. I'm like, oh wow, they are very like insightful, and just like the way they talk about news, I would love to work for a team like this. And that's where I had to start mourning the possibility of like, if they offer me this job, am I willing to leave sports? Yeah, leave. And I ended up getting the offer. I want to say it was, I'm like, my timeline is that might be off, but it must have been like March or like April
of 2020.
And that's why the story is so important, because the Celtics played the Thunder, and I'll never. So the Celtics played the Thunder. I posted this picture because I was like, I think a lot of times I think my mind works in social media for so long that I'll think in terms of like when I posted something. So I posted this photo, sideline of courtside. I'm thinking it's football. Courtside of a Celtics game, and I'm wearing like this green dress and like OKC, you don't want no Thunder. And like,
that's
yeah,
a bar.
yeah. No, but it wasn't. No, is that A Boogie? I think it was A Boogie or someone. Yeah,
Right.
It was some.
Stepping over Tim.
Yeah. So I posted.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
So it's on a Sunday, I think. And a few days later, they have another home game, and I'm literally at the station heading to TD Garden, like, all right, about to go. And they're like, oh, no. They bring us all into a meeting. They're like, everyone go home. The NBA shut down. I'm like, what are you talking about, the NBA shut down? How does the NBA shut down?
Right.
Send us home. We all working we don't know what's going on. And I think, what was it, Rudy Gobert that...
Yeah, he like touched all the mics.
Yeah. Because I'm like, Rudy Gobert started all this. So, allegedly, because I'm not trying to get sued.
Yeah.
But, so all of this happens, and I get the offer eventually, and then I take it. And I think the timing really worked out where, in the long run, I don't really think I had a choice in the sense of, we're all working from home anyway, but also I think that's when I'm slowly starting to realize the NBA really might not be coming back. Like, I think we all had a moment during COVID where we're just like, oh, is the world ending? Like, that's how deep it felt. But in hindsight, I think that would have been the only time in history where I would have been willing to leave. And I know that sounds really dramatic, and obviously there were so many other things that happened that year that were bigger than that. But career-wise, I realized that it was time for me to go. I think I just had this natural sense of like, okay, take this job and just see where it goes. And I remember my orientation for the news job, because we were in the midst of COVID at that point. Myself and another coworker, she was new to the company. I was still within internal for NBC, but they told us both, come in for your orientation. We went in for like an hour, got our new laptops. They're like, go back home, like sent us back.
Oh dang.
And that's how real COVID was. And so, yeah, leaving wasn't. It was scary at first, for sure. And then again, I think, watching the NBA finals in a bubble and just realizing like the landscape of sports was changing, I felt a little more at peace with the decision. And then I learned so much. And I remember telling that same boss, I want to be on camera in that interview, because I was consistent with my messaging to all my bosses. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, I can't promise you anything because I'm a print guy. He's a newspaper guy. But he was like, after you figure out your role, if there's anything you want to do on camera within our social media platforms or digital platforms, I'll give you the green light. And he was a man of his word with that, but also when I look back on my time working in that department specifically, he was a big advocate for me.
Okay.
In places, and we like when they say you need someone in rooms that you're not in.
Yeah, definitely.
That was one of the first times I had a manager where I was like, oh, well, like you are actually a man of your word, in the sense of like you're saying you're gonna try to help me do something, and you did. And so, one of the interviews I did during COVID was with a congresswoman in Massachusetts, and the interview was a pretty big get because, I mean, to get a congresswoman is, in any state is probably a big deal, but because she was so notable and I was able to get her on the podcast I was doing at the time, the show that I'm on now, they saw that interview. Yeah. They asked for a clip of it, and then eventually my current boss, the boss at the time, he was like, if you want to, like, if he basically offered for me to do stuff on that show, like on a occasional basis, and eventually that turned into me being a correspondent on the show. And then eventually it turned into me being a host.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Now, did you have to reach out to the congresswoman? Or they like set that up?
No, I was booking my own guests. And I think that was part of the grit that I built doing that. Because it was just an Instagram segment. Yeah. But I was DMing people, emailing people, finding their emails, whatever venues of communication so that I could book these guests. Yeah. And I think that's when I started getting people's attention of like, oh, she's booking people that we generally don't. I remember being told about one of the guests I ended up getting on the series, like, there's no way you're going to get her. And I was able to get this person on the show. It wasn't like, it was someone that I worked with, but and it wasn't even like from a, like, they weren't even being a hater. They were just saying it would be impossible to get.
Yeah, like it's hard to get them.
Yeah.
But they didn't know they was talking to Big Flex Kwani, so it was like, what you...
It's different.
Like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's mad dope. Cause I even like watching your story from like on the outside, it looked like you was having so much fun. Like, cause you're like at every Celtics game doing all these fun things. I'm like, dang, yo, like that's mad dope. Like, so I felt for you even leaving sports. I'm like, I actually about to like do.
Also, the funny thing is too, and granted, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. But I also was like, how do I explain what I do to people? Like, I've always felt like I was explaining my job to people.
Yeah.
But then after I left, I was like, how am I going to explain to people what I do? Because now they really don't. If they didn't understand then, they definitely not going to understand now.
Like, but I'm sure now it's mad easy. You're like, yeah, I just do live TV.
Yeah, basically. Sometimes it is. But then I have to explain I have like 3 jobs, you know.
Yeah. Like, yo, don't limit me. Like, what
Exactly,
you talking about?
right.
Like, so with the whole live TV thing, now I got my personal questions. Like, and we was talking about this earlier off camera. So like, do y'all really like shoot every episode live? And is it like always at 6 a.m, and like you got to get up and do y'all got to rehearse like lines, or is everything just teleprompter and y'all just improv the whole thing kind of like set up?
So it's a great question, but I would say, so the reason why it's a complicated answer is because everyone is different, right?
Yeah.
So we have our early news anchors that get in at like 4 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m. They prep. I think the first show is now, we used to have a 4 a.m., but now we have a 5 a.m. newscast.
Okay.
So they get in really early. My show, thankfully, airs at 11:30 a.m.
All right,
So I have a normal schedule. I'm very blessed. I have like a normal-ish schedule. And I say normal-ish because like we have the show, we tape the show and it airs. So our show, we tape it and it airs at 11:30. But generally speaking, like people see the TV and they're like, oh, you're just on TV. Like that's so fun. There's more to that. So the show that I'm on, I think is, because we're a smaller team, we definitely do more than most shows probably do. But I think the beauty of that is that we have a little bit more creative control than most would as well. Like, if you watch a show like the Today Show, you see all the hosts of those shows, like the different hours.
Yeah.
They have producers, directors, people telling them what to do. And we have the same thing, but it's just, for my show specifically, it's a smaller scale because we're not network television, have as many resources. Exactly.
Okay.
So in that same vein, within our different shows at our station, every show is different for that reason. Like I told you, we're all in the same building. So NBC Sports Boston, they have their different way that they do things. Like they have their pregame shows for the Celtics games and their postgame shows. So every broadcast is different, but there is the same recurring kind of cast. Like you have a host of a show, you have a producer, you have an executive producer, you have editors, you have all different types of people. But thankfully with our show, we book a lot of our guests too. So we get to meet a lot of our guests. We help produce some of the segments, which, again, when you see people on air, a lot of times they don't have that much creative control. Yeah. Which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but I take pride in it because it gives us more opportunity to grow on that production side as well and learn.
Yeah, because I've seen you, like, I'm sure a lot of other people have, like, you had all these big guests that you're doing and stuff like that. And I want to ask you about that. So when you're going into your interviews of people like Steph Curry or like Ice Cube, stuff like that, does your preparation change, or like is your mental change at all when you're going to that? Do you think like, all right, well, this day I might wear like something more professional, or I'm sitting up more straight or something like that? Or do you just take all of them the same way?
No, that's a great and fair question, and that's actually something I'm working on, because it's that like cliche of like, what's your favorite interview? And people be like players will be like, my favorite game is the next one or something like that. Yeah. And so similarly though, I try to have that mentality when it comes to people that I interview, because I really enjoy interviewing. Like that's probably one of my favorite things. Yeah. And sometimes I do think, I think it's natural, but I do overthink the bigger ones, like the Steph Curry interview. But I'm very grateful for that one, because I was nervous like up until the moment I sat in the chair across from him. And it wasn't necessarily, and I say nervous for lack of a better word, because I knew that I was going to do a good job, but I thought about the scale of the person. Okay. And I think as interviewers, you shouldn't, because at the end of the day, like I said earlier, we're all human beings, like, right? Or your wait staff, janitorial services, CEO, like, we're all humans. We all have a story. And so I think after that interview, I stopped getting in my head about stuff like that. So up until that, and I'll give you the backstory as to why. So my brothers and my dad, huge Steph Curry fans. And I watched the documentary that I was interviewing him about was about his life at Davidson, his time at Davidson and being underrated and all that. And the Celtics had actually just lost the NBA Finals to the Warriors that year.
Oh, that was that year.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the year, that June, and it interviewed him and
of the NBA year.
Exactly.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I had that. When they say imposter syndrome, I really just don't even believe in the term anymore because I think it, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I try not to subscribe to it because I think we get in our own heads about where we belong and what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And so having the experience of literally hearing about Steph Curry for most of my NBA watching life because of my family.
Word.
And then also having my immediate experience with Steph Curry of seeing him on the floor and also in relations to Boston and the Celtics. I know a lot about this man, whether or not I've done a deep dive on him already, right? Of course, for an interview, I'm going to do my research. I do more of a deep dive. I had they gave you for documentaries like that, or they'll call it junket. So if you do a movie or a show or whatever, they want you to interview an actor or someone in it, and they'll usually let you watch it beforehand. Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to watch the documentary beforehand. And so, again, all this time, I'm writing my questions out, trying to reword them. And mind you, Ryan Coogler was a director on that film, Black Panther.
Yeah.
So on top of that, it's so funny to me because when I think about that day, though, I wasn't nervous about Ryan Coogler. Yeah, I was nervous about Steph Curry. And I'm in the grand scheme of things, they're definitely equally goated, right?
Yeah.
So but I swear to you, the moment I sat in the chair, I sat and I looked him in his face and I just started talking, I forgot everything, nerve-wise, I forgot everything that I was nervous about.
Wow.
I didn't even I don't think I ever looked at my notes once. Because I already knew what I wanted to ask him. Granted, I only got 5 minutes, so that kind of helped.
It gotta be
But I knew exactly what I wanted to ask, the order I wanted to ask the questions in. And at the end, it's so funny because his documentary was about being underrated. And I'm all right, well, granted, and the framing was perfect because that season, earlier in that season, the Warriors were not looking good. No one thought they were going to the finals at the beginning of that season.
Yeah.
And then in the end, they turned around and playing the Celtics and winning at TD Garden.
So, was that whole time seeing them win on your court a heartbreak?
Well, it wasn't my court because I did not play that game, but
but you're a Bostonian. Also, I just want everybody to know, Kwani, do you still represent Jersey when you out there? You're a New Jerseyan, or have you switched over?
So this has been the hard part. So I love that this conversation just evolved into.
Yeah, that was kind of wild. We can segue back.
I'll answer that. I'm a Jersey girl who lives in Boston. And I don't let people forget that.
So are you sexy walking out there and all that other stuff?
No.
Let me stop.
No. But I do wish I didn't have to put my own gas. I do find
that's a luxury, yo.
I find the full service gas stations when I can. Because your girl's not trying to get out the car in the cold.
I feel you.
For the record. But to your point, so the reason why I made that joke about, I'm going to tie this all together, about did I feel heartbreak when they lost? No, because one of my pet peeves is when people be like, oh, we look so bad out there, blah, blah, blah. I'm y'all weren't playing. You wasn't with them shooting in the gym, literally.
I get that.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you go.
And it sounds so abrasive.
Yeah.
But I think the way that I grew up, this is funny. So the way I grew up, and I don't mean this to slight anyone, but when it came to fandom, we didn't we weren't hardcore fans of stuff, right?
Okay.
Other than Jesus, because we was in church all the time.
Amen.
Right? But I say that specifically because when I think maybe I'm different in that sense, and I know there are people like what I'm about to say, but the way I talk about sports, I am very good at compartmentalizing. Okay. Maybe to a fault.
Yeah.
So even when I started the Patriots pre and post game show, I said off the top, I grew up a Giants fan, and I wasn't I had no shame in saying that, even though I know I'm saying this to the fan base that lost to Eli Manning,
you
right?
Can't even. That's
And I remember, and I know you're not supposed to read the comments, but of course, I'm new to this. I'm gonna read the comments. And someone actually tweeted at me, and they were like, at the person that hired me, they were like, at Fred, why would you hire a Giants fan? Nobody wants to hear from her. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. So, like, and I let it roll off my back because I thought it was funny. But the reason why I say that though is because, to your question, I still take pride in being from New Jersey. I am very disappointed with how the Giants organization has been playing this year
for like
the last few
whole
years.
Bunch of years.
Yeah.
A decade.
Probably since the 2011. But and I don't think there's anything wrong with being a fan of where you're from. Like, for example, like people, I remember when Tatum got drafted, and even Jaylen Brown, like Jaylen's from Georgia. He grew up in Georgia, like outside Atlanta, and Jason Tatum's from St. Louis. Both of them very proud of where they're from and do not hide it. Like Tatum would wear St. Louis hats, and I'm like, oh, this, it's fly, it fits the outfit. And a lot of hardcore fans will get mad at like, oh, if you're from an area, why are you not only rooting for this team?
Yeah.
Or, like all your loyalty has to be the team. And I understand where they're coming from. At the same time, like if you're from somewhere, you should always be able to be proud of it. So that's why I always walk with like, you can do both. I think you can do both. And maybe that makes me a fair weather fan. But I think at the same time, like I think, well, one, I have two. One's in the AFC, one's in the NFC. So if anything, I actually can justify it. But at the same time, like all jokes aside, I think it's okay to root for multiple things.
For sure.
And it be okay.
For sure. Because I mean, like, now.
Root for successes at least.
Yeah, because I'm from Jersey, but I hate the Giants. I'm a 49ers fan. But.
Like Joe Montana? Like what got.
I got on like when Colin Kaepernick. I actually got on like when Alex Smith was really like.
Oh, okay, so
Vernon
very
Davis,
okay. I see,
like you know what I'm saying, like all of them. Who's my boy? Frank Gore, like all of that. Yeah. So I'm going back. Like
that's real.
But and can y'all please like just make like when we get to the Super Bowl, can we please just like win? Like you know what I'm saying, like yo, we every single year like we get so close and we just keep losing, and that's pissing me off. Like but whatever. Anyways, but so I'm saying that because I'm also a Lamar Jackson fan, but I'm not a Ravens fan.
And
so
you're a player
I'll cheer
fan.
for
Some
them.
people can be player fans.
Yeah, and I was gonna say to your point earlier, like being an athlete, I also used to hate when people say, "Yeah, we about to smoke y'all," and I'm like, "Yo, you on the sideline? What you talking about? You
How
not
many
helping
receptions
me?
did you have last week?
You not with us when we running them 100-yard sprints like in that dead heat. You talking about we about to." But I get it, and like, cause I've been on both sides.
Yes.
So it's
actually,
like,
if anyone would understand, you would understand.
Yeah. So I definitely understand that when people be like, "Oh yeah, like we really smoked y'all," and it's like all you did was watch the game from your couch. So
you made a sign, bro. You made a sign.
You did nothing. You weren't even at the game. So I was like, "Hey, chill out."
Yeah.
But no, I'm a Giants fan. I think that in your case, it's a little wilder.
I understand how wild it was, and I acknowledge how wild it was. But I think it's just being authentic to who I am.
Like, I like how you do that.
I was watching Giants games, and I remember my mom was like, "You need to stop watching all this football." She thought it was. She still thinks she was like, "You need to stop watching all this football. No man's gonna want you." First of all, I think it's the opposite. But it's like I would be like, I would just be like, I don't have my phone and just like everybody's blocked out, like just watch football on my phone. So like I just wanted to acknowledge like this is how I became a fan of this league.
Okay.
And then as a result, now I work for another team in the league.
I feel that.
Different, yeah.
Well, since we on the topic, I want to know like when you're doing the Patriots post and pregame, what's the preparation for all that goes into that? Like, is it really intense, or do you gotta like practice the day before? You gotta be up on the stats and all of that. Like,
I think for me, it's just a everyday process.
Yeah.
Because this is just a kind of and I don't want to say side gig because it's not like when you think about the work that goes into it, it is a 24-hour like making sure I have my alerts on, I have the Patriots.com app, and like making sure I know what's going on with the team. But also you need to know what's going on around the league as well because that affects, I mean, especially now that we're inching towards the playoffs, like that affect every day you got to see what are the Broncos doing? What's the AFC looking like?
Yeah.
So for me, it's an everyday thing, but I also have another job. So I have to make sure that I manage my time well so that I'm, one, focused on my main job because that's, what I was signed up to do.
Yeah.
But also making sure I'm bringing to the table the right information on a game day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And I think that's such a dope experience. Like, even when you was out there for the whole Tom Brady thing, like, were you, like, on during then? Or you just, like, were you on, like, you were doing the pre and post game?
No, this is my first season doing the pre and post game. Oh. So when Tom Brady was, that's why I'm very grateful, too, because I feel like I'm saying a lot of the same things, but even when I think about the experiences that I've had with the Patriots, like, I grew up saying, like, I mean, when I started my career, I always said I went to work in basketball. So I never thought football was going to be a part of my story for real. Like, where I worked, we covered the Patriots because if you work in New England, you cover the Patriots. Like, if there's a breaking news story in New England, especially during the Tom Brady era, like, if you're starting a newscast on a game day, you're most likely starting that newscast with the Patriots. Yeah. Win or loss. Like, that was just the order of how things went. Yeah. And so I'm grateful that I was able to work for an outlet during that time because I was able to see how things go in a Tom Brady and a once in a lifetime quarterback situation and able to see how an organization was able to thrive for so long, 20 years. So I think that experience gave me perspective for now, even though it's different dynasties, so to speak. I know dynasties too early to say now, but regimes. Yeah, it gives me perspective.
Y'all are dominating now, so I guess y'all are getting back on track.
I'm kidding.
The Patriots are dominating. Like, no,
I'm kidding. No, seeing this season it's been a blessing to watch. Like,
not really for me though, but I mean. That is a good question.
Start the rumors.
Because you definitely did. So you came on at the start of the season, right?
Week 1.
Okay.
I got hired like 4 days before week 1.
Now, how did this just come out of nowhere, or did you actually like put in for this? Is this just they saw you doing like your live TV on the hub, and they were like, "No, we could probably use her" or something like that?
In the Boston market, there is a very small group of people that have worked in sports and covered sports. Yeah. And I think that may have played a role in it, like looking at being on camera. Yeah. Obviously in the live TV sense, but also having that background with the Patriots and Celtics. I feel like that played a role. Okay. Yeah.
The whole with you being a woman and like pretty much for the most part, well, I don't know if I could really say like it's dominantly a male field because you got. Yeah,
football.
Well, just sports in general, because you have, like, we talked earlier, like, Aaron Andrews, Dorsberg, people like that. How do you make your mark as a woman in, like, a mostly male-dominated sport or sports?
No, I think being yourself, and it sounds corny, and everyone's probably said it before, but a lot of times when someone says they want to work in sports, especially as a woman, you're probably told to be like a prototype, a Aaron Andrews, a DB, but
like almost like a moderator kind of.
Yeah, like people try to. Not everyone, but sometimes people may put you in a box of like, oh, you should try to be like this person, or if you want to be play-by-play, then you should follow Doris Burke, which great person to follow, obviously. Yeah. But I think it's being yourself because all the experiences that you have are what make you valuable to the field. Like when I would do social media covering the Celtics, I remember one of my mentors would be like, because I was insecure about using the word covering because I was like, well, I'm not a reporter, so I don't know if it's accurate to say I'm covering this team. And he was like, no, you're covering the team. You are at the practices, you're at the games, you're at the charity events. You're actually at more charity events than most outlets are. Oh, wow. And you see the ins and outs of the way these players move, the organizations, and all of that is valuable. And at the same time, because I had that perspective of like, for example, Jaylen Brown, his very first gala in Massachusetts was at the casino there, and it was like the first gala had seen kids at, well, not in general, but like he had invited a local boys and girls club, and It was like very interactive. Like players weren't necessarily, they had like a VIP section, but like the players were walking around and the kids were able to walk around and say hi to their favorite players, which is unheard of in a city like Boston. And so looking back, all these experiences, I'm like, I have basic knowledge of how these players have like essentially grown up here, right? Like watching Jaylen Brown get booed and Tatum getting drafted, and then a few months after getting drafted, he announces that he has a kid on the way, and now this little kid has become a face of Boston sports, dude. Right. So being able to have all those experiences, I think, are what is giving me perspective. But also, in the same token, like my upbringing gives me a different perspective from any other person that wants to cover sports. So maybe I may approach, a post-game interview differently from someone else, simply because I have different perspectives and different curiosity levels than most, you know?
Speaking of your charity events, I read that you were also a judge, like, for the YMCA, like, and the Celtics co-joined cooking competition. Yeah,
so the Celtics do Fit to Win, I believe that's the name of it. And every year for, I think it's been 3 years at least that I've been involved, they do an event where it's the Celtics, they have their Shamrock Foundation, but their community organization within the Celtics. Yeah. Every year they make sure they go into generally less fortunate or resourced communities, and they bring in professional chefs sometimes. So, like, one year they brought in the Celtics head chef. But the whole point is to teach kids how to eat healthy. So the first year, I think it was a smoothie competition. Some of those smoothies were so disgusting. But it's for the kids.
That's what I was going to say. So I didn't know if it was the kids making it, because I was going to ask, like, why are you judging the kids so bad? Because they said you was getting booed, like, every year.
Okay, so I don't know where your source is.
All right.
But
maybe it was wrong.
I will say there is outstanding beef with Derek White right now. Because, granted, his team, did they win? Yes, they won.
Okay.
But there were 3 categories. I think it was a 4-point scale for each. No, 5-point scale for each category. And we gave them a 4 in one of the categories.
All right, it's not that bad.
To this day, every time he sees me, he's it's actually an issue. Because
like,
they didn't win. He's a true competitor, I will say. But one, I love that event because it gives you see the players in a different light. They're still competitive. That's definitely the main sell point there. But for the kids, it's them being able to have that experience with their favorite NBA players, but also learning how to eat healthy and how to fuel themselves, which it seems simple, but who would have thought that like putting a bunch of fruits, vegetables, and snacks in front of kids could be a good way to teach them how to fuel themselves growing up. So I really enjoy that event, and I'm honored, and it's funny that you say that, because I think the first year they asked me to do that was after I had left sports. So it was like kind of an honor to be like invited back to do it, but also every year it is a funny opportunity because it is a lot of pressure at stake when you got people like, why did I win this? There were like one year the kids were like, oh my God, why didn't we win? So we're pretty.
Oh dang.
We try to be nice with the judging.
Yeah.
But
you gotta be honest.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, but they're kids, so I'm not gonna be harsh.
Yeah, you're not gonna be brutally honest. Exactly. But like, you're gonna let them like, hey, this could use some work.
Exactly. But if you like it, I love it. So if you can eat this and fuel yourself, that's all that matters.
Do your thing.
Eat your vegetables, youngin.
Yo.
It's a sore subject for most.
Yo, but I know it was real beef between you and Derek White.
Yeah.
Though, like.
I have no beef. He just has beef with me.
Okay. So it's one-sided. All right, say no more. Now, Kwani, this is my favorite part of the whole podcast because it's the segment that we call the Matt moment. And it's an acronym, like, you know what I'm saying? Because my name is Matt, obviously. What's the acronym? 2 T's or 1 T? 2 T's.
The M-A-T
2 T's. I hate when people do that. Because they be like, yo, M-A-T-H. They're like, no. Add my other T.
Hold on.
Don't leave my joint out. But it's an acronym for when you made a transition or a turnaround in your life. So you may have been going,
okay. Made a transition.
Subscribe.
Like, review.
Yo, please. Thank you. Yeah, so it's when you made a or turnaround in your life.
Yeah.
Maybe when you were like headed in the wrong direction, like I don't know, you was out here being a wild kid. You know what I'm saying?
In the streets.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Kwani grew up in Jersey, like it got rough. But yeah, when you were maybe, you know, whatever it may be, whatever you may like, you know, put in a category of, hey, I was going the wrong way, but I did something, turned it around, and got myself back on the right path of life to eventually reach the goal that I had put out in my life. So what was that moment like for you?
Wow, that's such a great question. Shout out to your name for being the acronym.
Come on, name. Shout out to producers. Like.
It takes multiple minds. Okay, so one, I will say, being the oldest, I didn't have time to like really be messing around and not have my life together because
You was the example.
unfortunately, I feel yes. I think one of the traits of being the oldest is just having to have it together. And that's not to say I was perfect, but
Yeah.
I feel like career-wise, or even academically, I've always had it together. Like A student, you know, always involved in way too many organizations. But if I had to think of one, I would actually go back to BC again once more because I do remember, and I think this was a turnaround moment for me of understanding time as an individual and what time looks like in our lives. So it was my sophomore year. And at that point, I had been managing the women's basketball team. Actually, it may have been towards the end of my freshman year. I was in an a cappella group.
Oh, wow.
I was in a choir, separate from the a cappella group, managing the women's basketball team, working catering. And I really loved that a cappella group. It was the only Christian a cappella group on campus, which was ironic because it was a Catholic school. But I digress. But I really enjoyed being a part of that group. We had our spring break, instead of like going, you know, people go to Cancun or whatever, we actually stayed on campus and did service throughout the city of Boston.
Wow.
And like different organizations. So I really love that group. Like definitely a group that I can say helped establish my college experience. Oh, and also my freshman year I was the president of my dorm.
Dang, you was president of everything.
Just
like,
remembered, yes.
Wow.
I was doing the most.
Did you campaign for that also? And like,
I don't think I had to campaign for it, but I think I did have to run actually.
oh wow. Yeah, but this one wasn't the popularity. Like,
I don't even know what that process was now that you say that. I just remember that I did that, like literally just now, which is crazy.
yeah, that is kind of wild.
But I was doing a lot, was the whole point of that. And so I remember walking. So we have this thing at BC. If you're on your phone right now, look it up. It's called the $1 Million Stairs.
Okay.
Steep staircase. So I'm actually walking up the $1 Million Stairs, which is insane. If you see the picture of it, you'll see why. But I was leaving basketball practice, the women's basketball team, and going to a cappella practice. But I was like definitely an hour late at that point. Which doesn't make sense because at that point, why are you even going?
Yeah.
But I remember as I was walking up those stairs, I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm running from practice to practice, and I'm splitting my time in half with all of these things, and I'm not dedicating enough time to really hone in on a craft, essentially. So I remember walking up those stairs and saying, I'm going to have to quit this a cappella group. Against the Current, it was the name of the group. And I don't know if I did it that day, but I remember when I walked up those stairs, I knew that had to happen. And at least within that week, I quit the a cappella group. One of the hardest decisions I had to make.
Yeah.
But one, I knew I wasn't going to sing professionally. Like, it was one of those things, too. It was like, all right, yes, this is a thing that I enjoy, but long term, is it serving me anymore?
Right.
And again, I'm not serving them properly. And it's better that I remove myself. But I think that was a turnaround for me in college that translated into my life because I realized anything you want to do, you have to make time for.
Yeah.
But also make sure you're not stretching yourself too thin. And that's one thing I've tried to do even in my career now. Like, I do a lot. Like, I remember one of my friends, like, was breaking down. We were trying to, like, make plans for something. She was like, I got to book you months in advance. And it was like...
She's right.
We actually did do that.
I agree.
You can't attest to it. And I know we say it in jest, but I realize when I look at my calendar, like I do a lot.
Yeah.
But you have to make time for the things that you love, the people that you love. And that's the one thing I think I've worked on in my career, and I think you're always growing with that. But that moment helped me. I think that was the first time in my life too where I realized I'm doing the most right now, and I need to scale it back. And that I think I've translated that in everything that I've done since then.
Yeah, you could definitely be an advocate for mental health.
Yes.
And, like,
Yes.
and I think it also got you comfortable with making hard decisions.
Yes, because I think that's what I was afraid of. Like now I have to admit that I'm not able to do this. I know I'm capable of doing it, but the overachiever in me was like, no.
Yeah.
You could do all of it, but you can't. And that's the reality.
Yeah. Dang, yo, you really got, like, you dropping gems. Like, I just want you to know that. Like,
I'm glad.
Well, now we get to a more lighter part of the whole podcast, and I'm just gonna ask you some personal questions.
Okay.
Now,
my social security number is.
Look into your cameras. But nah, see, they not as crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
wait, actually, I'm bugging out.
I mean, you started asking me who I'm dating.
Yeah, I did wild out.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
crazy.
But before I do that, I got some pictures that I want to show you, courtesy of your family. And, you know, we just wanted to know, like...
Did my brothers betray me?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
You know, I'm going to show you these, and we're going to show the people as well. Like, just, you know... What do you think when you see a couple of these pictures right here? Like, yeah, you're right.
Oh my god.
No, we're gonna make
You're
sure
gonna put them on full screen,
okay? Yeah.
This is cute.
Let me give
Great
you the next one.
picture. Edmonds Hall. My senior year, I had just gotten my jersey retired. No, but as a manager.
Kwani.
No, I actually remember this day because oh my god, you know what makes this photo even better that I'm just realizing? I've never looked at this picture closely before like this. I'm wearing a catering uniform in this picture.
Wow.
I actually literally never noticed it. I'm wearing a free book bag that BC women's basketball gave me because I got a lot of free gear doing that.
Yeah, you sure do.
Look, I my uniform on campus was, you know, all of it. No, but this is crazy because I didn't realize I was wearing catering uniform, but I had just gotten my framed jersey, class of 15, and as a manager, they gave me a varsity letter.
Wow.
So I'm in my senior year dorm, which rest in peace to the dorm because they tore it down and made a gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the day I got the jersey, but it's very telling that I'm wearing catering because like both of my worlds collided in this one.
We didn't even peep, but like
I didn't even peep until just now. Like I've seen this picture multiple times.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It just speaks to your humility, you know what I'm saying? Like making it humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom.
Right.
We have more.
Oh my god.
How you want to explain this one?
How did you find this? I'm crying.
Please, like, enlighten us on what this is.
Yeah, I did ballet for a good amount of time. I don't remember how many years, but I was actually, not to brag, but I was really good to a point where they told my parents, like, the only next level that I could do was point, which is where you dance on
like
your
top
toes.
level.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember saying I didn't want to do that because I didn't want my feet to be messed up.
Yeah, now do that really like y'all get like you on your your toes
No,
looking
they're
like
on
this?
their
I'm
tips.
assuming,
They're
right?
on their toes, yeah.
Now, what they gonna get crusty or something?
No,
like,
they get messed up. Like,
like
yeah.
turf toe, like brown
Probably,
toes.
yeah, probably, yeah.
LeBron.
Yeah. Probably something like that. But I loved ballet. Ballet was definitely part of my formative years, and I learned so much about like posture and etiquette and just like performing. I feel like, I mean, I haven't done the studies, but I feel like the fact that we performed, maybe that helped me with the confidence that I have now career-wise, just like being in front of crowds and people. But I really enjoyed ballet.
Would you do it again if you could?
Yeah, my senior year at BC, actually, I took a ballet class, and my mom was like, why are you wasting your credit? But I wanted to kind of have a full circle moment.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I did this as a kid. Can I do it as an adult? But
like, yo, do I still got
Yeah,
it? But like
it was
today,
different.
you wouldn't go do it. Like, you gotta do a couple stretches.
I would.
Like,
I mean, I can still do it. I think I can
so thimble.
Yeah, I still yeah.
Say no more. Okay, and this is the last one.
This was great. That's so funny.
That was like a very memorable moment.
It was. This was in Jamaica. I wish I could see where all these kids are now. But I mentioned spring break with the a cappella group where we stayed on campus. This spring break was in Jamaica with the Multicultural Christian Fellowship at BC. Oh yeah, St. Teresa Prep in Kingston. And we stayed right near the campus, not campus, the school for that entire week. And I think we had like a service, like a church service, a youth service in Kingston, like not at the school, but like down the street from the school one day that week. But most of the time was spent at the school just talking to the kids. And one thing that I'll never forget was when we talk about third world countries and you can see it on their faces, the joy that these kids are exuding. And they don't know that some of them, not all, they still went to a decent school. So I imagine their parents had some level of income. But a lot of the kids that grew up in these countries, they don't come from wealth or as much opportunity as we are blessed to have here. So I just will always remember how much joy those kids had. And I was just like, what do I have to complain about? Like, I live in a country that there are resources everywhere you look. Like, you still have to work for them or find them, but I just remember these kids standing out for that. But it was one of the best trips I've ever had. I want to go back to Jamaica because these kids, one of the kids, they actually ended up braiding my hair.
Because they do
towards
a good
the end
job?
of the show. Yeah, they did a good job.
Dang, that's what's up.
Yeah. This was a good one.
Yeah, I could definitely say they appreciate the little things.
Yeah,
more
and they give us the perspective that when we talk about first world problems, first world problems are a problem that we even say, because it's like, at least we're acknowledging, like, I'm mad because my iPhone broke. Like,
right.
Okay.
It's like, yo, come on, yo. Like, people out here starving. Bro.
Exactly.
What you talking about? Like, throw that iPhone away.
Right. Go get you a Nokia.
Yo, stop. A sidekick or some joy.
Right, right.
Low key, I still want a sidekick. Like,
I always wanted, what was the flip one that when that like.
Yeah, the sidekick,
That
the
was-
joint,
that's what that was. Oh my God, I
with the
always wanted
keypad.
one.
Yo,
Yes.
low key, I still want one. Like, I don't care, just
Let's
like
find
for
it.
aesthetic.
I
Like,
had a BlackBerry in high school, and I felt so cool. I don't
Yo.
even know why I had one.
You know
I
what's
would just
crazy?
be like, yes, I have my BlackBerry, sending email.
to make it even worse, I had the Walmart version of the BlackBerry. Like,
The
I'm not even
Blackberry.
capping. Yes, basically the Wallberry. I had the Wallberry,
Hey, if it worked, it worked.
Bro, like I remember walking down the entertainment section with my parents, and that's when it come like in the it come in the box where you gotta cut that joint out, like, and I'm like,
Oh
yo,
my
come on, bro. Like, is this what my life has come to?
Right.
Humble beginning.
But now as we get older, we're like, okay, it wasn't that serious. It was just a phone.
Nah, yo, it was that serious,
It
yo.
wasn't
All the jokes I had to go through, yo, oh my,
Yeah.
like, yo, what is that? Like, I'm bringing my phone out like
Just
this,
hiding the
like in the
phone.
cafeteria, like, yo, man, what you doing? Like, mind your business, yo.
I'm talking about money, okay?
Like, yo, I'm fixing my pants. Yo, oh my gosh, like I hated that phone, but I was grateful.
All right.
Now, you ready for the personal questions?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
I
let's
thought
get
that's
into
what it
it.
was.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Okay, what's one thing you're embarrassingly bad at?
Oh, embarrassingly bad at.
Let us
Okay,
know.
you know what's funny? It's not funny. I feel like I've made myself bad at math
Same.
because my dad was a math and science teacher at one point.
Oh, you have no
Well, he's
excuse.
still a teacher, but like I think it's just because I get stressed out by looking at numbers. So then I'll just whip out a calculator quickly. But like I used to be able to add.
Yeah. It's when they started adding letters. Or you were still good with that?
I wasn't bad at not geometry.
Was that algebra?
Algebra, yeah.
I was
Algebra
awful.
1 I was into, I was fine. Geometry I was pretty good at.
So then it was calculus.
Calculus is I think calculus may have been what it is. Calculus
see.
messed me up.
I didn't even take it. That's how bad I was.
I don't even know why I had to take it. I'm like, why did we have to learn this?
Yeah, I don't know, cause like, and that's something I don't like about most teachers. They're like, you're gonna need this in the future.
Like, when have I ever used?
I haven't used
and
slope.
y equals mx plus b.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Yo,
know,
I
I still
haven't
remember
used the slope
But
in forever.
the
Like,
mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And I've been, you know what's funny? I've been using that like the last 3 weeks, and I don't even know why. As a joke,
y'all forgot about
it just keeps coming
mitochondria.
up.
No, that's wild.
It is.
Yo, I forgot about that though. Loki, y'all just put me back on.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Hey, I'm here. That's why I'm here. So
like,
math, I gotta work on that one.
Yeah.
Once the numbers are higher than 10, my brain just freezes.
Yo, that's like me. Like I literally like once after second grade, I don't know what it
After
was. Like,
second grade?
I know what we was doing. I'm in tutoring for math all the time.
I meant
Like,
after college.
no,
but okay,
I'm
yeah.
talking about. I'm talking about early, like straight out
He
the
said
gate.
early on. I
They
knew.
like, yo, what? I'm like, what is this? Like,
What are those?
I'm in third
Why
grade
did-
tutoring. Like, yo, I don't. Hey, I got my degree though, so amen.
Hey, that's all that matters.
So, what's something people assume about you that is completely wrong?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a nice one.
I don't know what people think about me. And I don't care anymore.
I could live with that.
I used to care a lot. I mean,
Well, maybe they might think you tall on like TV.
probably. You know what's funny? I did find out. I need to stop saying that. It's not funny. But I found out that in college, people used to think that I thought I was better than people. Which I don't. I never think I did.
Yeah.
But there was something about the way I carried myself that made maybe me seem pretentious. So I wonder if people still think that now.
I think maybe it's your confidence.
I can
Like,
see that.
I think you really walk into a room and you could tell like, okay, she's confident. Like,
Yeah.
And you kind of like sit in it and like you own it in your own way. So I guess that maybe might rub people the wrong way. Like, oh, she thinks she all that. It's like,
Right.
no,
But it's like, no, actually, you're projecting.
Yeah, right.
Because also, like, first of all, I'm short. So I feel like that shouldn't even be intimidating to begin with. Like,
Speak
what
on
am
it.
I going to do?
Or like, where Kwani at?
But also, hey,
I'm right in front of you. Like, oh, my bad.
hi guys. But also, I'm super goofy, so that's why I never understood it because, like, I'll make jokes with a wall. Like, I love being silly.
Or,
So people thinking I'm intimidating doesn't make sense to me.
yeah.
Cause I'm like, did you hear my dad joke a few hours? Like,
All right, yeah. Like,
it's
I'm always
a
laughing.
joke. Yeah.
Like, dang.
So I guess that could be it.
All right. Ooh. What's a compliment you secretly love hearing?
That I have a nice smile.
Ah.
It's like,
Go ahead and smile to the camera.
no, actually, there's these two women at Gillette Stadium every game day. They compliment me. They're like older women. They're so sweet. But one of them was like, "Your smile makes my day." And now every time I see her, I just smile. But
That's
it's
mad
so
dope.
interesting because you never know what will be the thing, like the compliment that gets you. And now it's a smile. But also, I used to be very insecure about my gap. And so sometimes
really?
I would just like smile like this, like
Yeah.
try to keep it close. But now I'm like, nah, these are my teeth.
Yeah, you gotta embrace that.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
So that's the one.
Okay.
That's the compliment.
let's get one more. Oh, this is nice. Are you a homebody or are you always outside? If you don't gotta work.
I am a aspiring homebody that is always outside. Because
You're an extroverted introvert? Introverted extrovert.
COVID made me an introverted extrovert. But before COVID, I was just an extrovert. Emphasis
Okay.
on the extrovert. But now that I'm older, I'm not that old. But
Class of 2015.
now I enjoy my house more. I like
Yeah.
being home when I don't have to. I'm gonna enjoy my mortgage, like they say,
Nah, fact.
instead of being outside, because outside costs so much,
They do.
especially in Boston. So if I could be home and save money, I will.
Yeah. It's actually embarrassing how much it costs. Like I went to Zara the other day just to get a shirt and some pants.
$300.
150. I was like, yo, like, yo, and the pants.
Wait, that must have been a deal.
Nah, that wasn't a deal. That was full price. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah, their clothes
literally,
are kinda wild.
a t-shirt is $60.
Oh yeah, their clothes is crazy.
That's why I'm like, a t-shirt. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. Like, you know what? That's how I'm like, I'm leaving the mall. That's
TJ Maxx. That's
what I'm saying. I drove to Marshalls, like, and I found the same shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I ain't even about to, like,
It looks the same when you
be wearing,
squint.
like, yo. I mean, they ain't gonna tell on that camera. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's all the personal questions I have. But now we do have a great game for you.
Okay.
Now, the game is called Name That Patriot / Celtic. So the way we're gonna do it is we're gonna show each other like a picture of either a former or current Patriot player
Lord,
or
I hope
Celtic
I pass
player.
this, yeah.
Let's see if you really know you know what I'm saying?
Do she know ball?
And you gotta know who it is and what their jersey number is.
Let's see how this goes.
Now, I feel like you can do pretty good.
I think so. As long as it's within the last 30 years.
I ain't go crazy.
Yeah,
like, I ain't
he
get
went
like
to the
a,
very first quarterback ever.
yeah, like I ain't get like Vince Lombardi's, like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like,
there we go, there we go.
But it's all good. Okay, so how we're gonna do it is, I'll say the first to name 6.
Okay.
So once he flips it around, like we'll see, like just say like I don't know whoever, and then say their jersey and their name.
Okay.
Do I need my specs? All right, let's do it.
Oh, Bill Russell, 31?
No,
30?
Bill Russell, number 6.
No, oh my God. Why did I say 31? Where did I get 31
Shout out Bill,
from?
man.
That's embarrassing.
Shout out Bill.
Shout out to Bill, though, for real. What? Did I say 31?
No, it got to be the name and the number.
If you say the nickname, that counts for this one.
Oh.
Extra points for the nickname.
I'll give you that.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, Big Perk. Kendrick Perkins. What's Perkins'
43.
number? Why do you know his number?
Come on, yo.
I'm not good. Well, I should.
I love the Celtics.
You do?
Yeah, I do, high key.
Oh, that's cute.
But I don't really claim I'm not really a fan, like, but I was a fan.
I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, so I just, you know.
These were good people, though. These are like.
Nah, we got some good
I
picks.
was a little nervous.
Julian
Edelman, number 11. Jules. His nickname is Jules. And he grew up a 49ers fan.
Okay, fine.
I was like, let me have more information.
Okay, you give it out. She made a whole background biography and all that.
Matthew Slater once called him Lazarus.
Yo, see? Nah, that's some inside scoop stuff, yo. You
I
get
was
like,
actually, yeah,
come on, yo.
I was
like,
there for that
You
game.
got the advantage.
I know, sorry.
Anyone who gives me the nickname for this,
Oh, Lord.
What's it? Who is it? It's like 2.
I can't
like
believe I got Bill Russell's number wrong.
Like a good 2-2,
How did I
right?
not say 6?
that's how we're in a good game, bro. There's
All
a
right.
good game right now.
All right. I like
It's
it.
him smirking.
Word, right?
I'm nervous.
I low-key forgot.
Tom Brady. Oh, Drake May,
number 10. Come on, man.
He's on it. He's
Come
on it.
on. This is the
just said
pre and
the same-
post game.
I said Drake May. But
You
he
say
looked like
10.
Tom Brady when it was upside down.
If someone could give me the nickname for this, they might like just win the game.
Well,
Oh,
Drake
the
May's nickname is Drake May.
Yeah, I did
So,
see that. That's
yeah.
kind of wild. Like, I need that explained though. Like, Big Baby Davis.
But why?
Dang, what's his number?
What was Big Baby?
11.
Big Baby. He 46.
Nobody wins.
Okay.
Dang, it's not 11. You on Glenn Davis?
I interviewed him too. It was embarrassing.
Wait, it's not 11.
What's Big Baby's? No, 11 was. Huh?
Let me give you guys an easier one.
Ray Allen, 20.
Also, okay, the upside down thing is actually throwing me off.
Yeah, it is.
Turn it off.
Yeah, it is.
Can we flip it this way?
Joe, it's like,
Literally, Drake May did look like Tom Brady upside down.
He did low key.
That might mean something.
Yo, low key.
Start the conspiracy theories.
Don't beat the 49ers.
He cloned them, right? Okay. Then.
Randy Moss, 81.
I didn't even have time to see it. And you got an old photo of him.
Come on, man. Like,
One of the Patriots.
Right.
it's too easy. Like,
No, that was a good one.
I
That
should
was
have
a
won
good one.
already. Like, come on,
I'm
man.
gonna get this. I'm gonna get this.
Is that
Nate Robinson,
Gershon
number 4.
Yabusele? Why did Nate Robinson look like Gershon?
What was Gershon's nickname for extra points?
Wait, who's Gershon?
He was a random French player that played for the Celtics.
And he
Yo,
played Olympics French team.
Yeah.
Gershon what
He
though?
looks like they do look alike.
Nate
That's
Robinson?
crazy.
Ain't no way Gershon look like Nate.
Well, he look like a skinny Nate.
Bro, you're getting fired.
I mean, don't please don't post that.
You clip that, you might get
Don't
out.
embarrass me.
Here we go.
Jason Tatum? 0. But
I'll
why
give
does
it that one.
he looks different.
You're funny, bro.
He looks different.
Who they look like? Drake?
He does, actually. Not wins
All right,
the
come on.
game. Oh my gosh.
Low key, I feel like I've been. When you think you scored, like what?
No.
She called Nate Robinson Gershon.
Y'all who's that like? He's a real player.
He's a real player.
He knew
That sounds like a creative player back in like
Gershon.
2K16.
My player.
Yeah, like yo,
My career.
My career, yeah.
like with Michael B or something.
Michael A. Jordan.
Last one.
Oh man, okay. Larry Bird, 31.
Bird 33. Come on, man. Like this is the Birdman.
It's
Like
the number.
yeah,
The number.
And this lady lives in Boston.
No, it's inexcusable. I can't embarrass myself like this.
She worked for the Celtics. Worked for the
Overlay
Patriots.
me saying 31.
They got Larry Bird number in TD Garden
What?
everywhere.
I
like
swear
has
I might
to be
have
like.
number dyslexia. Because
Oh, you did say about the math though.
because
You did say
all
about
the
the math.
numbers I said were close.
You did, yeah, she did say that. You did do a disclaimer about math. You're right.
That's not acceptable at all.
All those numbers were open.
Yo. Oh my God.
Except for number 6.
I just forgot Bill Russell.
Women empowerment.
How did I get Bill? I really.
No, we're having compassion.
Thank
Oh my
you.
God.
You know?
She
Yo,
sees
did I
me
leave the
for where
other-
I am.
You know?
Yo,
see me.
Josh, did I leave the yellow thing outside? So
I get
I
a
guess I
certificate?
lack in the vision. Like you gotta. Well, I lack in
You
the
have
vision.
numbers. I got no numbers.
Yes.
I got vision.
I was about to show you. Now this is courtesy of your family again.
Oh my God.
And they just
you
wanted
can't trust
to
them.
know. When you make it really, really big, they just want you to give them your first autograph. So we just want to hand you that, like,
I guess it's my brother.
and we will let all the people see it and like, you know.
Oh.
Now wait, was it he had the pleasure of getting your first autograph?
I guess he did.
That's
yeah.
what it was. Yes,
yeah,
it is
yeah.
what it was. My fault, y'all.
Yeah.
As you
I
can
have
see,
a typo,
Kwani,
then excellent. What did
You're
what
clearly-
my biggest one keep dreaming big and then what did I write here? Excel?
It was in the spirit.
she's a family woman.
Your girl had a typo in this one. Yeah, this was at the first WNBA game to be played at TD Garden.
Come on.
They had cards, which I still feel weird that I signed this, but they had a bunch of them for us to give like the high school, middle school girls. So yeah, we handed these out. They're like promo items, and then I had extra, so I gave them to like my coworkers and family.
So it's your rookie card, basically.
This is a rookie card, yeah. Wow.
You're a staple in the Boston community.
Other than not knowing
Word.
most people's numbers.
Who the heck is this? Where's Tatum? Like, where's Tatum?
Oh my God.
No,
Oh,
but
man.
Kwani, thank you for coming on. If there's anything you want to leave off with, like a piece of advice, something like that, where we could follow you at on Instagram, all your socials like that, like if you want to, the floor is yours.
Yeah, well, Kwani A. Lunis
Yes.
is my middle name. People think my name is Kwania, so I need to distinguish that.
Are we going to give an exclusive of what your middle name is?
It's Abigail.
Oh, dang, I didn't think you was even going to say that. Like,
Oh, it's on my profile,
Alright.
actually. Yeah, you can follow me there if you are a sports fan or just a lifestyle fan or a TV fan. Yeah, I'm in Boston, but like I said, Jersey's home. So thank you for having me on in my home
course.
state.
I should have played you some club music to
I know, some
sense
Jersey
out,
club
but-
to sign us out.
I know, I don't have
Find a
none.
little overlay.
We'll throw it in there for later. But thank y'all for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Hope you have a beautiful, blessed New Year going to the next year. And I'll see y'all soon, man. Peace.